For some reason, I have always fought the urge to watch sports anime. As an avid sports fan, it felt a little weird to me to watch a show about sports rather than just watching the sport itself. And this isn't just for anime, by the way, but really any show or movie about sports I didn't really watch, except for The Prince of Tennis when I was younger. However, recently I finally decided to watch Haikyuu. And if I'm frank with you, I have become obsessed with the show. Maybe it is filling the hole in my life that has been left with no sports going on, but I think there is a lot more to it than that. Without a doubt, the main selling point of the series is the brilliant character work. So today, I want to discuss my 3 favorite characters in the show: Asahi, Oikawa, and Bokuto. And a quick spoiler warning, I will be going over minor spoilers for each of these characters up to Season 4, Part 1 of the anime. Right from the first time that he was introduced, I knew I was going to like Asahi. As Karasuno's ace, Asahi is supposed to be the best and most reliable player on the team. However, mentally, he is a long way off. Asahi struggles mightily with his confidence throughout the show, and you see that right when he is first introduced. Asahi had quit the volleyball team because his confidence was killed when they lost to Date Tech the year prior. As the ace of the team, it is Asahi's job to be able to hit through the blockers on the other side of the net, to get the team a point when they need it the most. However, versus Date Tech, Asahi was unable to accomplish that, and because of it, he wanted to quit the team so he wouldn't have to let his friends down. Asahi is one of the most sympathetic characters in the entire series, and speaking for myself, I have felt the pressure and sorrow of letting your teammates down in a situation and then wanting to walk away from the sport or activity altogether. When you are with a group of people like that, a group of people that you are very close to, there is nothing worse than letting them down. But the significant part about Asahi's character is that he doesn't give up. His passion and drive for the sport of volleyball brings him back to the court and makes him want to succeed. Asahi does fulfill the role of the ace for Karasuno, at least for a time, and rises to the occasion to help Karasuno reach nationals. Asahi is inspiring because of the way that he can push through adversity. He might not be a top-tier ace, but he can help his team in a big way, and with his new jump serve that he develops, he helps Karasuno be a force to be reckoned with. Oikawa, in many ways, is the exact opposite of Asahi. He is introduced in the story as a villain-type character, an elite volleyball player who gets all of the girls and is, well, a little unlikable. At the start of the show, I couldn't wait for Karasuno to beat Aoba Josai, but a weird thing happened at the end of the second season. When Karasuno beat Aoba Josai at the end of Season 2, I felt an initial happiness that Karasuno had conquered the team that defeated them in their first tournament. Then I felt an immense amount of sadness for Oikawa. I wanted Oikawa to be able to make it to nationals, for Oikawa to defeat Shigetorizawa for the first time, and for Oikawa to finally get the national recognition that he deserves. But none of that happened, and Oikawa is left behind in the story for more influential and talented volleyball players to come. Oikawa talks about how he will never have the talent that Ushiwaka and Kageyama have, but that he will work his way to getting there. Oikawa's contrasting story with Kageyama reveals an interesting viewpoint on the talent versus hard work argument. First off, to say that Oikawa has no talent, I think is a little misleading. Oikawa may not have the talent to be the overwhelming best player on every court he steps on, but he certainly has enough talent to make it on the court at all and to be the best player on one of the best teams in his prefecture. Although Oikawa certainly does have to employ a lot of hard work to be able to compete with the best of the best, and sadly, he always falls a little short. However, there is more to it than talent versus hard work, as a huge part of Oikawa's story is the people that he surrounds himself with. For example, Kageyama has all of the talent in the world, but in middle school he was benched because he couldn't work well enough with his other teammates. And because of that, Kageyama wasn't able to make it to nationals at the end of his middle school year. That issue would have plagued the rest of Kageyama's volleyball career if he hadn't been paired with Hinata. Hinata has the mental ability to call out Kageyama and the physical speed to take advantage of Kageyama's serving ability. Hinata and Kageyama make each other better, not just Kageyama making Hinata better. And the same can be said for Ushikawa and the school he is playing at. Ushikawa is no doubt a powerhouse player and would be good at any school he plays at, but the playing style of Shigetorizawa likely brought out the best in Ushikawa. Ushikawa also played with a middle-of-the-road setter and would have been able to compete at the national level and potentially be the best school in the country if he had a setter as skilled as Oikawa. Now we must tackle the question of Oikawa's choice to go to Aoba Josai. There is a world where Oikawa goes to Shigetorizawa, and that he and Ushiwaka take over as one of the top 2 or 3 schools in the country. But that would have taken away from the amazing things that Oikawa has been able to accomplish on his own. Oikawa was able to compete at an extremely high level and be the best player on the court for 95% of the games that he competed in high school. He may have fallen a little short, but he showed how strong of a player he is. Although I will never be able to get rid of the feeling that Oikawa could have reached new heights playing with an ace as talented as Ushiwaka. Still, I know that even if his talents could have been utilized better with an elite ace, that internally Oikawa would have never been able to rest knowing that he wasn't able to reach that pinnacle by himself. And now we have the last but not least of my favorite characters, Bokuto. One of the top 5 aces and just an all-around goofball. Bokuto holds onto the idea of surrounding yourself with the people that bring the best out of you to overcome pure talent or work ethic. To be fair, Bokuto has a great mix of talent and work ethic. He talks about how weak his line shots were when he was younger, and then he worked hard enough to overcome them so they would be hard to stop. Bokuto seemingly has everything to make sure that he is one of the top players in the country at his position, but mentally he has many weaknesses. Bokuto has a lack of focus and interest at times, swinging from feeling like he isn't good to being upset about what gym he is playing in. When he is focused like he was during the Nekoma game, Bokuto is almost unstoppable, but when his focus wanes, he has no involvement with anything that is going on in the game. Now, I haven't truly seen Bokuto at his peak yet, but the same can be said for the other top 2 aces in the country because we just haven't seen them play very much. But I am sure that Bokuto has the talent to be just as good as them. But his mental state likely holds him back in a similar way that Nishinoya isn't regarded as one of the country's top liberos because of his loud personality. Even though Bokuto isn't as calm and relaxed under pressure as Ushiwaka, he has teammates around him to make sure that during the most significant moments of the game, Bokuto is performing at his best. I do think that Bokuto has a very good chance to be regarded as one of the top 3 aces in the country by the end of this nationals tournament. Even though Bokuto isn't as calm and relaxed under pressure as Ushiwaka, he has teammates around him to make sure that during the most significant moments of a game, Bokuto is performing at his best. If Bokuto were on a team that wasn't willing to help him when he goes into his emo mode, then he likely wouldn't be regarded as a top 5 ace in the country. Bokuto's personality makes him instantly likable, and the fact that he is such a powerhouse player makes him so much fun to watch. But Bokuto has a lot more to his character than just being a crazy strong ace who has significant mood swings. Bokuto's passion for the game is unmatched. His passion isn't as typical as you would think. Bokuto does want to be the best ace out there, but his main focus is always on the now. Bokuto wants to beat the person in front of him. That mindset is precisely the reason why I still play sports, even though I am not competing in any official leagues. I play so I can try to beat the person in front of me, to pull 120% of my current potential out, even if that potential isn't very high in the grand scheme of things. I must try to reach it so I can reach my full potential in other aspects of my life where my overall potential might be higher. Bokuto is an elite volleyball player and has limitless potential, but his ability and need to beat the person in front of him drives him to compete at his highest level. I'm curious to see how he will play in nationals, because I do think he has a really genuine shot to end up being one of the top 3 aces in the country, especially considering that Ushiwaka lost to Karasuno, and that he will be playing Kiyomi once again. I know that I will be rooting for Bokuto to prove to the world how good of an ace he truly is. All 3 of these characters are my favorites, mainly for how they resonate with me and how they all inspire me to pull out my greatest potential in everything that I do. Although I think the same can be said for probably almost every other character in the series because of how well written the cast of characters are. Out of everything that Haikyuu does well, I think the cast of characters has to be at the top of the list. The characters are why I feel like I can watch Haikyuu over and over again. Especially because of Asahi, Oikawa, and Bokuto. So this is only my first video on Haikyuu, and thank you guys for watching. If you want me to talk about Haikyuu more, go into maybe these characters even more depth, or talk about other aspects of the series, let me know on Twitter at @artessays or down in the comments below. I'm really excited to be back making videos, and so I hope to see you in the next one.